Welcome to this episode of Psychology. Imagine possessing X-ray vision for the human mind, seeing beyond words to decode hidden intentions and emotions. While true telepathy remains fantasy, mastering behavioral science brings us remarkably close. Today, you'll acquire tools to navigate this invisible landscape. We'll dismantle judgment errors, explore psychological drivers, master nonverbal signals, and sharpen truth detection. This isn't about manipulation. It's about profound human understanding. Ready to see what others conceal? Let's begin. Our journey starts with humility. Humans are terrible intuitive judges. We form snap impressions and cling to them despite contrary evidence. Why? Our brains prioritize efficiency over accuracy. We mistake assumptions for insight. To read others effectively, we must first confront four critical obstacles: baseline blindness, snapshot errors, context neglect, and self-projection. These mental shortcuts distort reality, but awareness rewires perception. Baseline blindness is trap one. Every person has unique behavioral rhythms, their emotional resting state. The reserved colleague isn't aloof, that's their norm. The animated friend isn't exaggerating, that's their default. Without knowing someone's baseline, deviations become meaningless static. Like a doctor noting vital signs, study their posture, speech cadence, and energy in neutral moments. This foundation makes true anomalies visible. Trap 2. Snapshot errors. You see a coworker frown during your presentation and infer disapproval. But was it one moment? Perhaps they recalled bad news or tasted sour coffee. Single instances lie. Truth lives in patterns. Track recurring reactions. Do they touch their temple when skeptical? Lean forward when engaged? Behavior is a film, not a frame. Demand multiple data points before conclusions.
Context neglect is trap 3. A shout in a library signals aggression. In a factory, it's necessity. Crossed arms in winter mean cold. In negotiations, defensiveness. Even your presence alters behavior. Interview nerves mimic shyness. Always ask, what unseen forces shape this moment? Environment, relationships, and hidden pressures sculpt actions. Ignore context, misread every time.
The final trap is self-projection. We imprint insecurities onto others. The skeptic sees deceit in nervous tics. The anxious interprets silence as dislike. This egocentric bias clouds objectivity. Combat it by asking, is this their truth or mine? Record behaviors neutrally. They tap their foot before assigning meaning. This mental discipline clears the lens. Remember, judgment without self-awareness is confession, not perception. Master these four: baselines, patterns, context, bias checks, and you've built an observational fortress. Now, we explore what drives behavior itself. Beneath every action lies psychology's twin engines: motivation and personality. Motivation answers, why? The invisible forces compelling choices. Personality reveals, how? Consistent behavioral fingerprints. Together, they form a behavioral GPS. Motivations spring from four sources: subconscious shadows, pain-pleasure calculations, unmet needs, and ego protection. These primal forces often bypass logic entirely. Understanding them is decoding humanity's operating system. Personality provides predictability. The calm strategist navigates chaos methodically. The procrastinator thrives under pressure. These are neural pathways solidified through repetition.
Subconscious urges operate like hidden directors. Unresolved insecurities, buried regrets, or denied ambitions leak into behavior. Consider the colleague who downplays other successes, often projecting their own unrealized dreams. These impulses evade self-awareness yet steer actions powerfully. Spot them through contradictions: extravagant generosity masking greed, or excessive confidence veiling shame. When behavior feels incongruent, subconscious currents are flowing. Don't confront, observe ripples. Similarly, suppressed creativity may manifest as criticism of innovators. These shadow elements aren't flaws, they're unintegrated parts seeking expression.
The pain-pleasure principle dominates decisions. Critically, avoiding pain trumps seeking reward. Evolution wired us for survival, not happiness. This explains enduring toxic jobs, fear of financial pain, or avoiding risks, fear of failure. Note 2 rules. First, emotional instinct overrides logic. We know sweets harm health, yet crave dopamine hits. Second, perceived pain magnification distorts choices. Staying in unhealthy relationships feels safer than the unknown. Neuroscience confirms. Threat response activates the amygdala 2x faster than reward circuits. Recognizing this reveals why potential loss paralyzes more than potential gain motivates. Maslow's hierarchy reveals layered motivations. Is someone struggling for security? They'll prioritize stability over creativity. Craving belonging? They'll conform to groups. Needs shape perception. The hungry notice food ads first. The lonely see couples everywhere. Behavior clarifies when you identify their dominant need level. A team member resisting change may feel safety threatened, not stubborn. Meeting foundational needs frees energy for growth. Modern research adds nuance. Needs aren't strictly hierarchical. Creative expression can emerge amid scarcity when tied to identity. The key? Ask, what void are they filling? Ego protection fuels countless conflicts. When core self-identity feels threatened, competence, morality, intelligence, we deploy psychological armor. Blame shifting, traffic made me late, excuses, or aggression shield vulnerability. Watch for disproportionate reactions to minor feedback. They signal ego wounds. The prouder someone is of a trait, the harder they'll defend it. In negotiations, avoid triggering defenses by framing challenges collaboratively. How can we solve this? Not why did you fail? Preserving others' dignity earns trust. Neuroscience reveals ego threats activate the same brain regions as physical pain. This isn't vanity, it's psychological survival. The imposter syndrome, overachiever may attack colleagues to deflect self-doubt. Recognize these patterns to navigate conflicts wisely. Personality provides the how of behavior, predictable response patterns. The conscientious planner organizes chaos. The agreeable mediator soothes tensions. The open explorer embraces novelty. These traits manifest consistently. Meticulous notes reveal conscientiousness. Conflict de-escalation shows agreeableness. Curiosity about ideas signals openness. Stress tests personality. Does pressure amplify traits or invert them? The usually calm leader may become indecisive under extreme duress. Mapping these patterns lets you anticipate reactions, transforming unpredictability into navigable terrain. Contemporary psychology identifies hexacodimensions, adding honesty-humility as a key predictor of ethical choices. Remember, personality isn't destiny. It's behavioral probability shaped by context. Nonverbal cues bypass conscious control, revealing truths words conceal. They originate in the limbic system, our emotional core. Start with universal stress signals. Neck touching, lip biting, or object fidgeting are tactile anchors calming nervous systems. Note fight-flight-freeze responses. Leaning away, escape, clenched jaws, confrontation. Frozen posture, helplessness. These biological relics operate in real time. Micro-expressions. January 25th teach second flashes of anger, contempt, or fear betray concealed emotions before the social mask resets. Research confirms 85% accuracy in detecting concealed disgust through nose-wrinkling microgestures. Authentic smiles engage eye muscles, orbicularis oculi. Fake smiles only lift lips. Mirroring is unconscious rapport building. When someone copies your posture, gestures, or speech pace, their brain signals alignment and trust. Lack of mirroring indicates disconnection. Spatial behavior speaks volumes. Confidence claims territory through expansive gestures and steady eye contact. Insecurity shrinks presence via hunched shoulders or minimized movements. Vocal cues matter. Pitch rises 30% under stress. Measured tones signal control. Attire sends messages. Overdressing asserts status. Underdressing seeks authenticity. Context decodes meaning. A leather jacket signals rebellion at a law firm, conformity at a rock concert. Proxemics, personal space use, varies culturally. Mediterranean cultures tolerate closer distances than Nordic ones. Always calibrate observations to cultural norms. Detecting deception requires strategy, not intuition. Skilled liars control obvious tells. Instead, exploit cognitive load. Lying demands 35% more mental energy than truth-telling. Start conversationally. Ask open-ended questions about their day to establish baseline behavior. Then probe the target topic. Request sensory details. What sounds filled the room? What texture was the table? Liars script broad strokes, not minutiae. Notice evasion tactics, humor, topic shifts, or indignation. How dare you ask? Truthful people correct misstatements. Liars often let inaccuracies slide. Pattern shifts are key, sudden rigidity after relaxation, or excessive detail in simple answers. The repeat question tactic buys time to fabricate. Advanced lie detection involves strategic escalation. After establishing rapport, introduce gentle pressure. Help me understand the timeline better. Liars often overcompensate with unnecessary precision. It was 3:07 p.m. Truth-tellers remain comfortably approximate, mid-afternoon. Watch for anchor points, details fixed early in the story. Changing anchors indicate fabrication. Introduce hypothetical reverse questions. If we checked security footage, what would we see? Guilty parties often display micro-expressions of fear or engage in grooming gestures like adjusting clothing. Ethical warning: never accuse prematurely. Use the Columbo technique. Play slightly confused to encourage elaboration. As cognitive load increases, liars struggle to maintain emotional consistency. They may display emotional leakage, brief incongruence between words and effect, like claiming happiness with a tense jaw. Document verbal versus nonverbal mismatches systematically. Remember, even experts achieve only 90% accuracy. Seek corroboration, not confirmation. Hands are truth tellers. Palms up gestures signal openness/receptivity. Palms down indicate authority or concealment. Steepled fingers demonstrate confidence. Interlaced fingers reveal anxiety. Watch for manipulator gestures, self-touching when discussing sensitive topics. Deceptive individuals often restrict hand movements, but trained liars may overuse rehearsed gestures. Authentic gestures precede speech. Staged gestures follow words. Micro-grooming, smoothing trousers or twisting rings, increases under duress. Territorial signals matter. Claiming space by spreading materials asserts dominance. Hiding hands in pockets suggests uncertainty. Cultural nuances apply. Italian communicators use broad gestures. Japanese counterparts favor restraint. Contextual clusters are key. Nervous hand-wringing combined with vocal tremors, an averted gaze forms a high-stress cluster. Conversely, relaxed hands resting openly, coupled with steady eye contact and a slight smile, signal comfort. Always analyze gestures in sequences, not isolation. The face hosts a micro-expression orchestra. Universal emotions, joy, anger, fear, disgust, contempt, sadness, surprise, manifest through involuntary muscle contractions. The brow furrow, corrugator activation, signals distress. Nose wrinkling, levator labii, indicates disgust. Asymmetry often reveals insincerity. A half smile during condolences. Duration matters. Authentic surprise lasts under 1 second. Mouth shrugs, lip corners pulled down, betray helplessness. Pupil dilation, impossible to consciously control, reflects interest or arousal. The Duchenne marker, crow's feet wrinkles during smiles, distinguishes genuine joy from feigned amusement. Contextual traps. Yawning may mean boredom or oxygen deprivation. Tearing up could indicate sadness or allergies. Cluster with other signals. Disgusted expression plus crossed arms equals rejection. Pro tip: focus on the upper face for leakage. Eyebrows and forehead are harder to control than the mouth. Training tools like the Facial Action Coding System, FACS, can enhance detection accuracy by 40%. Voice carries hidden emotional fingerprints. Fundamental frequency, pitch, rises with stress or excitement. Drops signal dominance or sadness. Speech rate accelerates during deception or enthusiasm. Deliberate pacing suggests control. Volume fluctuations, sudden softness may indicate uncertainty. Abrupt loudness reveals defensiveness. Strategic pauses mark thoughtful truth. Excessive fillers, betray cognitive load. Vocal fry, creaky voice, can signal disengagement or contemporary habit. Analyze jitter, micro-variations in pitch. Increased jitter correlates with anxiety. Shimmer, volume instability, rises with emotional arousal. Advanced markers, plosive emphasis, that's not true, often accompanies deception. Truth tellers use more sensory language. I heard the bang. Liars rely on abstract terms. It was chaotic. Phonetic distancing appears in deceit. That vehicle versus my car. Cultural considerations. Japanese communication values measured tones. Brazilian interactions embrace exuberance. Always compare to baseline. A naturally fast talker slowing down warrants more attention than a slow speaker maintaining rhythm. Pair vocal analysis with facial cues for robust interpretation. Attire is identity armor. Color psychology. Red projects power/aggression. Blue conveys trust/stability. Black signals authority/mystery. Formality choices reveal conformity needs. Suits in casual settings assert status. Jeans in boardrooms seek relatability. Style consistency versus incongruence. A punk aesthetic at a corporate job may indicate rebellion or authenticity seeking. Grooming levels, meticulous versus neglected, reflect self-esteem or situational awareness. Accessories as projections. Luxury watches display achievement. Religious symbols signal core values. Contextual intelligence is critical. A tailored suit means competence in court, pretension at a barbecue. Cultural coding. Business attire in Tokyo favors subtlety. Milan embraces boldness. Gender expressions. Necktie tightness correlates with rigidity. Skirt length communicates conservatism/liberation within cultural norms. Nonverbal clusters. Expensive clothing paired with slouched posture may reveal insecurity. Thrift store finds worn with erect confidence signal self-assurance. Remember, clothing choices reflect aspirational self-image more than current reality. The executive dressing down seeks approachability. The intern dressing up projects ambition. Global decoding demands cultural fluency. Eye contact norms. North Americans value direct gaze as honesty. Asians may perceive it as aggression. Respectful gaze focuses on the nose or chin. Gesture variances. Thumbs up offends Middle Eastern cultures. Okay sign insults Brazilians. Personal space needs. Latin Americans stand close. Northern Europeans require distance. Time perception. German punctuality reflects order. Indian elastic time emphasizes relationships. Status recognition. Bowing depth in Japan signals hierarchy. First name usage in Australia denotes egalitarianism. Avoid ethnocentric traps. Averted gaze isn't deception in cultures valuing deference. Contextual intelligence. A Nigerian's elaborate greeting ritual shows respect. Identical behavior in Sweden seems excessive. High-context cultures, Japan, Arab states, rely on implied meaning and nonverbals. Low-context cultures, Germany, prioritize explicit verbal communication. Modern hybrid contexts. Tech conferences blend global norms. Observe before engaging. Research essentials. Understand face-saving in collectivist cultures versus directness in individualistic societies. Pro tip: when uncertain, mirror moderately. Match handshake pressure. Follow seating cues. Cultural competence isn't memorizing rules. It's demonstrating humble curiosity. Your willingness to learn speaks louder than perfect execution. Personality decoding requires pattern recognition. The Big Five framework: openness, inventive versus consistent, conscientiousness, efficient versus easygoing, extroversion, outgoing versus solitary, agreeableness, compassionate versus detached, neuroticism, sensitive versus resilient. Behavioral markers. High openness explores new restaurants. Low openness orders familiar dishes. High conscientiousness color codes calendars. Low conscientiousness embraces spontaneity. Extroverts recharge socially. Introverts withdraw. Agreeableness avoids conflict. Disagreeableness debates vigorously. Neuroticism anticipates problems. Stability maintains calm. Dark triad awareness. Narcissism seeks admiration through dominance displays. Machiavellianism manipulates via strategic charm. Psychopathy shows fearless impulsivity. Cluster observations. The punctual, organized colleague with meticulous notes signals high conscientiousness. The meeting monopolizer who dismisses others' ideas exhibits low agreeableness/narcissistic traits. Contextual flexibility. Stress reveals core traits. The usually agreeable person snapping under pressure confirms neuroticism. Developmental insights. Childhood environment shapes traits. Perfectionism often stems from conditional approval. Remember, traits exist on spectrums. Avoid binary labeling. Use personality understanding to predict reactions, not limit potential. Motivational profiling unlocks decision-making. Identify core drivers. Achievement seekers pursue mastery. Power-oriented individuals crave influence. Affiliation-driven people prioritize relationships. Security-focused minds avoid risk. Behavioral clues. Achievement seekers discuss goals/metrics. Power-oriented name-drop connections. Affiliation-driven facilitate group harmony. Security-focused site stability. Incentive alignment. Reward achievement seekers with challenges. Empower power-oriented with leadership. Connect affiliation-driven with teams. Assure security-focused with guarantees. Temporal dimensions. Present hedonists seek immediate pleasure. Future planners sacrifice now for later gains. Workflow analysis. Future planners create detailed schedules. Present hedonists thrive in flexible environments. Legacy motivation. Those driven by impact beyond their lifetime mentor others or establish systems. Fear-based motivation. Avoidance patterns manifest as chronic worry or overpreparation. Reprogramming tactics. Help present hedonists visualize future rewards. Guide avoidant individuals towards small wins. Universal truths. All motivations serve perceived needs. Upgrade the need profile, safety to belonging, to shift behaviors. Strategic empathy. Frame requests through others' motivational lenses. This project builds your leadership profile for power seekers. It protects team stability for security-focused. Tech-enhanced reading integrates multiple data streams. Voice stress analysis detects microtremors indicating deception. Thermal imaging reveals blush responses, invisible to naked eye, signaling embarrassment or attraction. Eye tracking identifies unconscious attention. Lingering gaze on weapons or exits signals threat assessment. AI pattern recognition analyzes micro-expression sequences beyond human perception. Ethical boundaries. Always obtain consent. Use only in high-stakes scenarios, security screenings. Limitations. Tech cannot interpret context. A stress spike may mean guilt or claustrophobia. Hybrid approach. Combine tech with human intuition. Practical biometrics. Smartwatches detect heart rate spikes during sensitive topics. Note when pulse accelerates without physical cause. Respiratory patterns. Shallow breathing indicates anxiety. Measured breaths signal control. Galvanic skin response. Sweat gland activation, measurable via touchscreens, correlates with arousal. Digital footprints supplement analysis. Social media posting frequency increases before manic episodes. Sudden silence may indicate depression. Remember, tech provides clues, not verdicts. Pair data with behavioral clusters. Elevated heart rate plus speech errors and face touching forms a high probability stress indicator. Clinical insights deepen interpretation. Defense mechanisms reveal hidden anxieties. Projection, accusing others of one's flaws. Reaction formation, exaggerated opposite behavior. Sublimation, channeling impulses constructively. Trauma responses, hypervigilance, scanning for threats. Dissociation, emotional numbing. Fawning, people-pleasing. Attachment styles, secure, comfort with intimacy. Anxious, fear of abandonment. Avoidant, discomfort with closeness. Disorganized, contradictory behaviors. Behavioral markers, anxious attachers text excessively. Avoidance delay replies. Disorganized types alternate between clinginess and withdrawal. Neurodiversity considerations. Autistic individuals may avoid eye contact not from deceit, but sensory overload. ADHD, fidgeting signals focus efforts, not boredom. Mood disorder patterns. Depression manifests as psychomotor retardation, slowed movements. Mania shows pressured speech. Ethical imperative. Never diagnose without training. Use insights for understanding, not labeling. Therapeutic applications. Recognize projection to diffuse conflicts. I sense this topic triggers strong feelings. Spot trauma responses to offer safety. Take your time. Identify attachment styles to adjust expectations. Universal principle. Behavior is communication. Problematic actions often express unmet needs. Listen to the meaning beneath the action. Mastering human insight demands ethical vigilance. Use knowledge to build trust, not exploit. Recognize limits. Even experts err. Practice radical self-observation. Journal when biases surface. I projected my deadline stress on Sarah's tone. Calibrate through feedback. Ask, how accurate was my read of that situation? Contextual humility. Averted gaze could mean deception, cultural respect, or trauma. Power dynamics. Reading subordinates requires extreme care. Prioritize psychological safety. Legal boundaries. Coercive detection violates autonomy. Consent is mandatory in professional settings. Prevent misuse. Never weaponize insights for manipulation. The highest purpose? Fostering connection, seeing the fear behind anger, the longing beneath aloofness. This transforms relationships. Develop observational mastery through deliberate practice. Daily exercises. 1. Baseline studies. Document 3 people's neutral behaviors. 2. Micro-expression training. Use apps like Micro-Expression Toolkit. 3. Context analysis. Ask, what environmental forces shape this behavior? 4. Bias audits. Identify projections in interpretations. Fieldwork. Observe public interactions, cafes, transit. Predict outcomes based on nonverbals. Refine hypotheses. Was the couple's argument resolved? Why? Journaling deepens metacognition. I interpreted clenched fists as anger, but cultural context suggested concentration. Study masters, therapists, negotiators, actors. Recommended resources. Ekman's Emotions Revealed, Navarro's What Everybody is Saying. Patience rewards. Neural pathways strengthen over 8 to 12 weeks of consistent practice. Integrate insights into daily life. Professional applications. Managers, detect team disengagement through withdrawn postures before productivity drops. Salespeople, identify buying signals, leaning forward, nodding, versus objections, crossed arms, clock checking. Educators, spot confusion through eyebrow furrows. Personal relationships, sense partners' unspoken needs. A psi plus distant gaze may seek comfort, not solitude. Conflict navigation, recognize defensiveness, arms crossed, sarcasm, and pivot to safety building. I value your perspective. Self-awareness enhancement, notice your stress signals, jaw clenching, to preempt reactions. Universal truth, everyone wears an invisible sign saying, make me feel understood. Reading people fulfills this primal need. Advanced integration, synthesize micro-expressions, verbal leaks, and context into unified narratives. Example, a job applicant's resume claims confidence, verbal, but fidgeting and vocal tremors, nonverbal, suggest insecurity. Context resolves. Early career candidates often overcompensate. Another, your partner claims, I'm fine, verbal, with averted gaze and clipped tone, nonverbal. Contextual history, they withdrew after past conflicts. Probabilistic thinking, assign likelihoods, 80% chance they're concealing stress. Test hypotheses gently. Some might feel overwhelmed here. Is that relatable? Ethical culmination, share observations tentatively. I notice you've been quiet. Want to talk? Not you're hiding something. Wisdom recognizes that some mysteries deserve reverence, not solving. We've navigated perception's pitfalls, motivation's engines, silent signals, and truth detection. This journey transcends practicality. It fosters profound human connection. When you see the pain behind aggression, the fear beneath arrogance, or the hope within hesitation, you respond with transformative empathy. Psychology reveals our shared humanity. We all seek safety, yearn for understanding, and wear masks of necessity. Carry these tools with reverence. Use them to heal, not dissect, to connect, not control. Thank you for exploring the unseen dimensions of behavior. Stay curious, compassionate, and courageously present.